It is ATL Day Ones with Jarvis and Tanitra. Sitting here with Sam Crenshaw, the mayor of Atlanta. Andre Dickinson. Hey man, no shade. But Sam Crenshaw is the mayor to me. Man, he knows each and every person on this planet in the state of Georgia. So yeah, that's my guy. Sam joining us today. Sam, I know the Atlanta Braves. They are sitting here with roughly about 42 games left, and
Yeah.
and to be honest with you, it's so hard to kind of pick and choose and say, hey, okay, all right, here's what's wrong with this team, and especially when they're 12 and a half games, in front of the closest person in the NL East. So, but as of late, obviously we have to talk about the issues that they've had in the starting rotation, starting with Max Fried and Kyle Wright. In the beginning of the season, now Max Fried is back. He had some really good starts, and he had a little shaky start. And then now, Kyle Wright's supposed to be back in September-ish, so we don't know what that time frame looks like. But, Spencer Strider had his struggles. Charlie Morton had his struggles. And I've talked about how Charlie Morton wasn't going to make it, Sam. And then, leading up to that start against the Yankees, he had 22 walks in his last 5 starts. He was just out of control, literally, from a pitcher standpoint. But I think he heard what I was talking about, saying, hey, I still got some juice in the tank. And then he goes out and strikes out 10 batters and only walks 1 against the Yankees. But do you feel like I'm still in a space where I feel like I need to see more? I need to see more in order to feel better, because, like I said, I still feel the same way I feel about Charlie Morton, because, like, he's up there in age. And I just really feel like he's not in a space where he can give you that consistency like we saw against the New York Yankees.
And that's a question too. I was talking with someone recently and say, okay, you start the playoffs today. Who is your starting rotation with this team? Because you got some people who come back, Fried's come back, but Strider, he's on, he's get double-digit strikeouts. I think his last time out seemed like he's working on a third pitch, which he needs.
Yes,
Because some
absolutely.
people have figured out, okay, if we just put the bat out there and meet it sometime, we can steal a home run on this guy. He's been susceptible to that lately, and that's the one thing that has you concerned about him. But we'll see what happens with him and Bryce Elder. As well. He's had his hot, he's had his cold, he's had more hot than cold, but he's had his moments too. It's a long season. It's a very long season, but now, Jarvis, now you pay attention to the teams on their schedule that they may see again in October, and that's the big thing about this series this weekend with the Giants. This is a team that they could very well see again in October, and that's what makes these games big. Yeah, beating the Mets is a big deal because everybody said the Mets were going to win everything when the season started, and then the Yankees come in town. That's always a deal when the Yankees come to Atlanta. That's nice. That's nice to beat those guys. But here's a team that could be a roadblock to you getting to the World Series later on this season. You got to handle your business against this Giants team, because they really caught fire here about a month ago, and nobody was talking about them. The
Yeah.
D-backs and the Dodgers were leading the way out west, and all of a sudden, here come the Giants right now. And so let's watch this weekend series. I think is going to be big for this team.
Yeah, and you know what? And the Giants, like you said, like they kind of been a little up and down as of late. I know the last 10 games were 3-7, so they've been catching hot and cold. So they're trying to find their consistency as well. And I think that when you have a guy like a guy like Spencer Strider and Yanni Chirinos coming to the plate. Coming to the mound. I think that I can have confidence in a guy like Strider, but Yanni Chirinos, that's the guy that for me that's just like I just don't like his name being thrown out there, in that starting rotation. But I am encouraged though to see Spencer Strider, to start this series against the San Francisco Giants, because, like I said, I'm looking for more consistency from Charlie Morton. I'm definitely looking for more consistency from Spencer Strider.
Now, you give Brian Snitker his credit. I mean, he's going to give guys a chance. He's going to give them a chance. Some people say that's a little bit of the Bobby Cox in him.
Right.
He's going to give
Oh yeah.
he's going to give a guy a chance, and to prove if he can be a consistent contributor. Because right now, you look at a guy like Torinos. He's there. You're not looking at him to be a starter when you get to the postseason, but you definitely want to see if he's somebody that can come out of the bullpen and help you like that. That's the thing you do with a player like that right now. You want to shore up that bullpen in case somebody stumbles out of the gate, gets off to a bad start. You can bring them in early in the game, and they can attack that opposing team and shut down their batting order and give this offense, which is proven you're never out of a game with these guys. Give them a chance to get going. So that's what you want to do. I'm watching Philadelphia, man.
They scare me.
The ghost of last season. The ghost of
honest.
last season, man. You know what I mean?
I'm scared. I'm scared of the Phillies. Like,
here
I don't
they
know
come.
why.
Here they come. Right. Here they come, kind of creeping in, right? They say we're gonna hit the wild card. That's all we want to do is get in. I'm watching them dudes, man. I really am, and see what happens, because that's what happened last season. We had this strong, finish and get there, and all of a sudden this Phillies team just came in with this pitching that just shut our lineup down. I do like the fact that we're using the speed that in this lineup, because to me that's the difference. Pitching is the difference in the postseason. You're not going to go out there and hit home runs all over the place, and it's nice to see that. It's great to see right now.
It switches up in the playoffs. Yeah,
that stuff goes away in October. Can you produce runs? And this is a lineup that should be able to. If you got to play small ball, play small ball. Drop it in and run. And so I hope that we've seen enough of that type thing where we produce some runs. That's the thing about this lineup, by having Acuna and Michael Harris right side by side in his batting order right now, because you're going to get that poison on the base pass. Absolutely. Yeah. And that makes a difference in how you can produce runs. I hope they continue to do that going down the stretch here at the end of the regular season.
Yeah, I think the versatility, I'm going to sound like a football coach, the versatility that they play with, like the style that you play with. I think that matters. It matters, like, when you come into the playoffs, because you have to be able to be versatile, because, like you said, you might run up against an Aaron Nola, and he might pick 7 innings of no-hit ball or a 2-hit ball and no runs. So those are some of the things that can happen, and you get mold them down 8 strikeouts or whatever. So all of those things, you got to be able to put it together, because I think that, that's why I feel like Ronald Acuna is a guy who's going to be much more important, because, hey, we didn't see this in 2021. He wasn't on the field when they won the World, when they went into the playoffs and won the World Series. So I think that this is something that I am definitely looking forward to see, is like, hey, soon as a nephew running, as I like to affectionately refer to him as soon as he gets on base, the man is going for second. So you better get ready.
Absolutely. And that's the thing I've enjoyed, that they adjusted the game really almost to suit him, with the shorter base paths, the bigger bases. I'm like, it's tailor-made for players like himself and Ozzie Albies and Michael Harris to use that speed. And so we have that in our lineup, and Albies is out for a minute. We hope we get him back, because he was one of the really ingredients that was missing last year. We really missed him sorely. He came back from the injury only to go back on the IL and wasn't able to be a part of the postseason run, the very short postseason run that we ended up having last year. So, hopefully get him back healthy. He is a very important cog in this baseball team.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to them come back. Thankfully, they got some guys that they can hold it down. Nicky Lopez and Vaughn Grissom at some point.
Vaughn Grissom, you know what? I'm watching this guy to see what he does, because at the start of the season, we thought he was going to be the man at shortstop. We thought he was going to be on this roster, and he has had to go down and play out in Gwinnett, and he's played well out there. He's got a second chance to come up here, and maybe this weekend I'm going to watch to see, if he's given opportunities to get plugged in and see what he does. I'm very curious to see how he responds.
Yeah, that'll be very interesting to see, because, like you said, he can be a spark. Like, as many sparks as you can, potential sparks you can have coming off that bench, the better. Like, the more the merrier, because, like you said, it's gonna come a time where it's gonna be 1-0 in the 7th or 8th inning, and they're gonna just need a spark. They're just gonna need a spark, and I think that Vaughn Grissom can be that guy.